Welcome back to our channel, where we dive into the genius of architectural design. Today, we'll be exploring the Andrew F. H. Armstrong House, a remarkable project by Frank Lloyd Wright. Designed in 1940, this house showcases Wright's ability to harmonize architecture with the landscape, blending form and function seamlessly. Located on a sand dune, the Armstrong House is an exceptional example of how Wright manipulated space and structure to adapt to the natural topography. From the 30-degree twist in its floor plan to the careful distribution of levels that match the slope of the site, this house represents a deep understanding of how buildings interact with their environment. The site plan reveals Frank Lloyd Wright's thoughtful placement of the Armstrong House in relation to its surroundings. Situated on a sloping dune, the house is aligned to maximize the natural topography and existing features of the land. Wright masterfully adapts the house to the irregularities of the terrain while also taking into account key views and natural elements. The site has several slopes, as indicated by contour lines and the directional arrows marked on the plan. Wright adjusts the house layout to fit within these natural contours, ensuring minimal disruption to the landscape. The house's placement is slightly set back from the road to maintain privacy, with the carport integrated at the lower level, taking advantage of the sloping ground. Wright carefully places the house to capture optimal views. Several notes on the plan point to best views of the lake, labeled as A and N. The orientation of the house seems to follow this logic, where the main living areas and balconies would open towards these scenic vistas. The plan ensures that both the master bedroom and the living areas benefit from these unobstructed views. The concept of the Andrew F. H. Armstrong House is rooted in the integration of architecture with the natural landscape. Frank Lloyd Wright designed the house to adapt to the sloping sand dune by rotating the floor plan 30 degrees to align with the terrain. This project reflects his philosophy of organic architecture, where the structure flows with the topography, maximizing the surrounding views and preserving natural elements. The arrangement of levels and interior spaces responds to both functional needs and a deep connection with the environment, creating a harmonious relationship between the building and its site. The approach to the house, indicated by the road label, is carefully calculated. The entry to the property seems to take advantage of natural contours, and the path from the road to the carport follows a subtle curve. The design ensures that the approach gradually reveals the house, enhancing the experience of arriving at the residence. Let's start by looking at the floor plan of the house, which reveals the intricate relationship between the architecture and the site's natural landscape. As we bring up the first image, you'll notice the house is designed across two main levels, each carefully adapted to the slope of the dune on which it sits. Now, beginning with the lower level, the design is immediately practical, yet elegant. Wright places the carport at the very entrance, offering a discreet and functional space for the vehicles. But what's fascinating is how this carport isn't just for practical use. It's integrated into the overall flow of the house, guiding you towards the entrance, which remains tucked behind for privacy. But what's fascinating is how this carport isn't just for practical use. It's integrated into the overall flow of the house, guiding you towards the entrance, which remains tucked behind for privacy. If we zoom in on the central part of the plan, we find ourselves in the expansive main living room. Look at how Wright has designed this space with double-height ceilings, bringing a sense of openness and grandeur. From this room, large windows open onto a balcony, offering panoramic views of the surrounding landscape. Wright always knew how to make the outside feel like part of the interior experience. Moving further into the house, we see the workspace behind the fireplace. Notice how it's cleverly positioned to share the high ceiling of the living room, making it feel connected yet distinct. And behind that workspace, we have a series of service areas: a utility room, a dark room, a maid's bedroom, and a bathroom. Wright often grouped these service spaces together, ensuring they were both functional and out of sight from the primary living areas. As we transition to the upper level, you can see how Wright continues this sense of flow. A staircase leads us from the main living area up to the more private zone of the house, where we find the master bedroom and the children's bedroom. Both rooms are positioned to enjoy privacy, while still benefiting from the open-air balconies that extend the living space outdoors. Wright's attention to the connection between the inside and outside is clear here. Each room offers direct access to terraces and balconies, allowing the residents to enjoy the natural beauty that surrounds the house at every level. Now, if we take a closer look at the relationship between the house and the site, you'll see that Wright wasn't just designing a building, he was creating an experience. The house interacts with the terrain, with terraces and balconies extending into the landscape, breaking down the boundary between indoors and outdoors. This careful integration of nature and architecture is one of the hallmarks of Wright's organic design philosophy. In this image, we see a perfect example of Frank Lloyd Wright's design philosophy, where the fireplace serves as the heart of the home. Positioned centrally in the living room, the large brick fireplace not only provides warmth but also acts as a focal point for the space, symbolizing comfort and togetherness. Wright designed the fireplace with a layered brick pattern, drawing attention to its significance while integrating it seamlessly into the architecture. Surrounding it, we notice the tall windows that invite natural light and offer expansive views, blending the indoors with the natural surroundings, a key element of Wright's organic architecture. This space reflects Wright's vision of unity between the home's interior and the natural world, with the hearth acting as both a functional and symbolic centerpiece. Now we can see a distinct feature of Frank Lloyd Wright's design approach: his use of changes in level to create dynamic, intimate spaces within the home. The small staircase leading up to a higher platform illustrates how Wright utilized vertical movement to differentiate areas within a larger room, adding both privacy and a sense of progression through the space. The use of brick and wood materials also plays a crucial role here, as the warm tones create a natural, welcoming environment. The brick elements, consistent with Wright's organic architecture, tie the interior to the natural surroundings, grounding the design. The wood paneling complements this by adding texture and warmth, further emphasizing the unity between the structure and its environment. In this specific area, the level change subtly divides the spaces without the need for walls, encouraging a sense of openness while still maintaining clear functional zones. Wright often employed this technique to guide the experience of moving through the home, with each step or platform offering a different perspective on the space. This thoughtful manipulation of levels and materials reflects Wright's attention to the flow of movement and how each space relates to both the individual and the surrounding environment. Here, on the upper level, we can see Frank Lloyd Wright's attention to detail in creating intimate, serene spaces that balance comfort and aesthetic simplicity. The use of wood paneling on the walls brings warmth and a sense of continuity, as the natural material is used throughout the home, emphasizing the organic nature of the design. The horizontal windows placed above eye level maintain privacy while allowing natural light to flow in, creating a sense of openness without sacrificing intimacy. This design also helps to blur the boundary between the inside and outside, a signature element of Wright's architecture, ensuring the room remains connected to the natural environment outside. Wright's minimalist approach is evident in the built-in furniture, such as the storage closets, which are seamlessly integrated into the walls. This not only maximizes space, but also keeps the design uncluttered, reinforcing a sense of calm and relaxation in interior space. And that brings us to the end of our exploration of the Andrew F. H. Armstrong House, one of Frank Lloyd Wright's most thoughtful designs. Through his masterful use of natural materials, changes in level, and his focus on connecting the interior with the surrounding environment, Wright has created a home that truly embodies the principles of organic architecture. I hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the design, and I invite you to subscribe for more insights into the world of architecture. If you have any questions or thoughts, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.